Welcome, everyone. Nice. Welcome. Okay.
To Ask a Puppy Trainer Show, episode 199. We're getting close, guys. Big 200.
Yep, we're almost at the 200.
Did I steal all your steam?
No.
Okay, good.
Sorry. My steam is I'm getting bit by a cute little puppy right here. That's my steam.
All right, from Jenny Capozio.
Wait.
What?
This is Charlie, the King Charles Cavalier Spaniel, the one that we suggest that first-time owners get. However, extreme amounts of happiness mixed with bird dog can be challenging. But out of all the puppers in all the world, this is one of our main go-tos for suggestions for families with kids, especially, that do not have dog experience. So, King Charles Cavalier.
Tend to be a very sweet breed, not nearly as nippy and not nearly as long of the nippiness. They tend to settle a bit quicker than a lot of other breeds.
By settle, we don't mean with energy and crazy happiness, we mean with biting.
Yeah. Well, and if you can settle your energy and your crazy happiness, they would actually settle down a little bit quicker too. They tend to feed into the energy of the family. They're royalty.
They're royalty. Yeah, and
they're royalty.
The corgis now too, thanks to Queen.
People to put the questions in the comments.
Oh yeah, if you guys have any questions or we're answering your question, please throw a response in the comment section. If you have a follow-up, we always love to get back to you guys. It feels more personal that way. We like the back and forth. All right, I'm going to start with Jenny Capozio. 14-week-old Poodle-Chihuahua cross, waking 5 a.m. for toilet. What time no food, water from? When should we cut off our food and water so she doesn't wake us up at 5 a.m. to use the toilet? That's what I'm assuming the question was.
14-week-old Chihuahua?
Yeah, little baby.
I think that's pretty common for that breed and age.
We'll still give you all of our tips, but you may not see a huge improvement. You might see like 20, 30 minutes. I would probably be cutting off water anywhere between like 6 p.m. maybe to 7 p.m. 7 p.m. is even a little bit late on that. Feed your last meal around like 5:36. Get them out for potty on your normal times. And then make sure you get on a schedule. Teaching a puppy how to sleep in the crate overnight. They have a safe zone. There's an enclosure that they can't get out of. They tend to settle and sleep a little bit longer. But here's one of my big ones too. One final potty before you guys go to bed. You're gonna get in bed at 10, 9:59. Your puppy just got a last potty. I'm tongue-tied today.
3 hours before bed is my recommendation. So no water 3 hours
10,
before bed. And so it depends on when you go to sleep. And like he said, you always do that final potty. You go to bed at midnight, puppy is out at 12:59. That would be dumb. 11:59. We both are great at math.
Thank you. You made me feel so much better by doing that.
Well, I did it on purpose. Obviously, did it on purpose. I don't want to make you feel. I would hate to hurt your ego.
Yes, you would love to do that.
Anyway, that would be my suggestion. If you play with your puppy or something like that, no big deal. Just put them a piece of ice in a bowl. Let them kind of roll it around, get what they want of it, and that'll be good enough.
I've also heard freeze a wet rag in the freezer and give that to them so they can kind of chew on it. Gives them a little bit of water, but not as much as drinking from a bowl.
Yeah, obviously there are some exceptions. If you don't have any AC and it's 80 degrees and you're out in Arizona or New Mexico or something and everybody's dying,
you got to give more water.
You got to make some adjustments.
But there's a test you can do. So if we give water,
this is his favorite thing.
We give water. You gotta get ready for it. I give my bowl of water. By the way, the measurement's a half cup of water for every 30 pounds of body weight every 2 to 3 hours. Half cup per 30 pounds of body weight every 2 to 3 hours. So it gives you an idea of how much to start with. I give my puppy water. They finish all of it. They look voracious for water. They need more. I still wait 10 minutes. A lot of times that water has to pass through their system for them to actually use it and not feel dehydrated. Run your finger along their gun line. If it's wet and slick, they're fine. They're not dehydrated. If it's dry or sticky, you can give them a little bit of water. Usually what I do is I get half of the original amount, wait 10 more minutes, give them a little bit more if you need to. So you're not giving too much water that then leads to a potty accident. You're kind of measuring out how much more they need for days where it's a little bit warmer. You want to add?
No.
Okay. Thanks.
All right. Is your puppy, okay, so we had a video on YouTube. You guys can ask questions on YouTube too. We had a video on YouTube that said, is your puppy waking up earlier than usual? Maybe you're a Chihuahua person. You should go check that out. It's on episode 197. Excuse me.
You eat that paper.
Excuse me. You're so
Dog
cute.
ate my homework.
Yeah, dog literally ate my homework. Your dog out. I can't stand it. Okay. Jenna said, I have an 8-month-old, so now we're dealing, that's my armpit, hello. Now we're dealing with an adolescent dog, 8-month-old golden retriever.
I have that one here too.
Who bites? No, you don't. Oh, does she do twice, maybe?
On hands and arms, not toy, purposely?
Let's find out. Well, I lost my spot. All right, totally lost. Bites us any chance she gets. Standing to text someone back. Sounds like my little girl. No, I'm just kidding. She does try to compete with the phone if you use it too much, and I'm sure dogs are the same way. We all went through that with Zoom with COVID, and you shut up. I heard you. You shut up. All right. It was an odd one. Who has ever said that before? Standing to text someone back. So it sent my brain on the bunny trail. Give me a break. You got anything more to add before I finish this question?
Good question.
He's whispering mean things to me. All right. She comes up, bites our legs, and then we turn to look at her or stop it. She lies her body on the ground, knowing we can't lift her. Manipulation, yes, I would agree with that. When playing tug, she legit tries to move her mouth on the rope, off of the rope, to bite our hands on purpose. Help! 8-month-old golden retriever is really targeting you guys. So I'm just really curious.
8-month-old golden. I think it's the same
Yeah,
person.
it might be. Hands, toy, bites skin on hands and arms,
Jay
not
as well.
toy.
It's gotta be the same.
Okay, can you focus?
Yeah,
Focus.
sorry.
Focus. All right, so, because it is the same thing. So for me, I'm wondering what your relationship with this dog is outside of these moments. That's honestly the most important thing, because we can give you advice, but it will not last more than maybe 1 or 2 times of trying it if you aren't doing other things to build impulse control with your dog. And a lot of people don't sign up for driven retrievers, but you didn't get a doofy lab. You got a golden retriever, and so they can be, well, so can labs, but more golden retrievers and labs can actually be quite intense with the biting and with this period of time. So for me, this dog is on a cloth martingale, which you can get cheap from Amazon, and a leash dragging around, wind supervised all the time. And you are picking up that leash. You don't pick up the dog. You pick up that leash and out and away from here. She wants to go to you. He wants to go to you. Out and away from you. So see how I can use my arm and I can move in, especially an 8-month-old, to get leverage to keep the dog away from me. And I do pressure. You don't lift the dog off the ground. You probably wouldn't be able to anyway, but just to make that clear. You do uncomfortable pressure till the dog relaxes. Then relax the leash. Give the dog a chance to come back and make a decision. That might be to bite you again. And just on and off relax. But that's only going to work so long. Can you open your front and back door without your dog flying out? Are you using blocking? Can you send them out of the kitchen? And if they don't listen, bump into them and they get out of your way. Oh, I just had a lab puppy. I had this woman do this with a lab puppy. She tried to block him at the front door. It's what we were working on. Mm-hmm. He lays down on her feet.
Of course he does.
Flops over.
How lab of him.
Yeah, 4.5 months old. Mm-hmm. Just. Mm-hmm. And she's like, what do I do? I said, get him out of your way. She's like, leash. I said, nope, you don't get to use leash. Let's pretend you don't have the leash on. What are you going to do? She's like, I don't know. I said, well, he flopped on you. Flop him off your feet. Just flop him over. And she just gently flopped him off. And he kind of got up and she was able to block him and make him get back. My point in telling you that is I know it's a really uncomfortable thing if you're not used to it, because the dog's not used to it, so they're going to try all sorts of silly, funny things to get their way. But you're going to use that leash with the body language to get them out of your kitchen, get them back from thresholds, to not fly out the car door, the crate door, to wait for their food. I'm sure you probably usually say stay. Stop saying stay. Just make them get back from food prep. Use your obedience later once you get this body language stuff on the ground. And I would do place and teach resetting with place. Just go look up some balance trainer place videos. Other than that, what can they do to build relationship?
I kind of want to go more into that. The place training she was mentioning, you're looking at like 10, 15 minutes of that every time your dog comes out of the crate, just to cover the base need of his brain, to give him some mental stimulation, to even allow him to settle down and not jump and not bite. Hey, Ricky, I'm going to pass this one. We got
Bye,
some
Charlie.
Happiness.
He's just wiggling.
He's found my mic cord
Wiggly,
every
wiggly,
single
wiggly.
time I've settled down.
He's bored.
I'm thinking about the mental. I'm thinking about the physical. I'm thinking about the exercise. I'm thinking about the training we need to do. If I have a dog that I'm just doing pressure up on 5, 6, 7 times in a row, giving slack, and every time I'm giving slack, I'm having to redirect a place and do a training session. I'm going to question that moment and say, should I have started with the training session right after coming out of the crate, or does the biting start right out of the crate?
Yeah.
If the biting starts right out of the crate, which it probably does, you're going to listen to what she's saying. If you're getting no frustration coming out of the crate, just excitement, harness it. Harness it for training instead, create a positive association to it. And then when he does start biting your hands and doing the stuff that Bethany was mentioning, when you switch to food, you're going to switch to training mode like a light switch versus the frustration having to do it a few more extra times. Yeah. I want to make sure you're covering the brain.
Yeah.
You're working your dog, you're training your dog. Otherwise, you're just a correction machine. That's it. Yeah. You got to have the balance of training, exercise. You got a golden retriever that's motivated and driven.
It could be under exercise, but it's not just about, going and biking for 5 miles. It's about enrichment and mental work. And mental work comes with going for a hike, getting to sniff and do some recalls, and then being told no for going to want to chase the squirrel. So it's a combination of all those things.
When I read all of this from these 2 questions, the first thing my mind says is no owner is going to be able to do that without a dog trainer unless you're a very advanced dog owner and you've had many dogs that are kind of like this. If you're not that, hire a dog trainer.
Yeah, it is a tough one. At 8 months old, we're not dealing with 4 months old like I was, like 4 or 5 with the lab puppy. You're dealing with something really ingrained, and he's frustrated, and he's doing what's been allowed, what's been working.
And I don't know if this is also you guys on the other one too, the JSATS 11.
But it's the same thing.
Purposely bites skin on hands or arms, not toy.
Yeah.
That is targeted. That's becoming malicious.
Yeah. Okay, on here, Hits Vera 51 says, my 1-year-old is scared of the car, tries to run out every time. Well, let me ask you a question, Hits Vera. Have you done any, and it's okay if you haven't, but I'm just asking for a little more context since I have you here on Instagram. Have you done any crate training? And if you have, are they able to wait at the crate door for permission to come out? So Hits Vera, if you could hit us up if you're still around on that, and I can go into that a little deeper.
I got one that I think you're going to like. I'm going to throw it to you, though. This is a Cavapoo, that's why. Biting 4-month-old Cavapoo. I've been redirecting with toys and saying, ouch, but still doesn't help. Bethany loves the word ouch, so I let her take this one.
Well, I have a story associated with it. Early in my career, I would occasionally use it because that's what other trainers would say to use, and I never saw a lot of value in it, and I tried it one time with a German Shepherd puppy, and then I got attacked. So I don't do it anymore.
Is that real? Is that a real story?
Yeah.
We talked about this last week. You didn't tell me that.
Sophia, Sophie or Sophia. I still remember
We'll never forget the name.
This was like 15, 17 years ago. It was a very long time, and I'll just be honest. It was a family that was on the softer side, energy-wise, and sweet and nice and all. And I didn't think I could use firmer stuff. I was like, I need to get it in with them. And they had been trying that. And I was like, well, you're not doing it, loud enough with enough intensity to where you actually sound like another puppy. And this dog was like 6 months old, so it was getting into adolescence. And come to find out later, the dog had attacked some other people that they didn't tell me about. But I didn't ask all the right questions back then. That was a long time ago. So you sound like prey when you do that. The idea is that might work with a 7, 8, 9-week-old puppy because they still have some remembrance of being with their siblings. That's the idea behind that. But I gotta tell you, a good mom, she hears that yip. She checks in with her 2 puppies that are having a conversation. And if that other puppy does not back off right away, she comes in and she handles it like a mama. And so we don't want to be the sibling, we want to be the mama, the good mama. And that would be my advice to you in a philosophical way. I know that doesn't actually help you with your problem.
That was an incredible reference. That was so good.
I just came up with that.
You guys have no idea how good that was.
That was pretty good. I just came up with it.
The sibling is like a child correcting another child. The mother is giving leadership and understanding. Exactly. They're not just correcting, they're creating understanding
context.
What they want instead. Context.
Yeah, context for everyone.
That was good.
And and so for me, how old was the dog again?
I thought it was 4 months. No, 4 months, I think. Biting 4-month-old Cavapoo.
So getting a little older, definitely teething, getting a little older. For me, I feel a little bit like a broken record, but I would keep a leash on the dog. For that breed, I might do harness, might do a thicker martingale that's like comfortable, not like a real thin, like anything really thin. You can get a cloth martingale on Amazon. But anyway, you can just use that to be like, go away. I wouldn't do any intense training or anything like kind of we talked about with the 8-month-old, but I can kind of pick up the leash and just pick up the piranha and be like, go over there. And redirect them. And work on my thresholds. Work on pausing. I'm telling you guys, I keep going back to thresholds because it's a transition. Something else, another thing that's a transition is if I pick up the leash and my 4-month-old puppy.
4-day-old puppy.
My 4-month-old puppy pops up. When I pick up the leash, I move in now. And then they're just going to back up and probably stare at me because they're a puppy. And then I'm going to have to reset them in a down. They're not going to go into an auto down automatically at that age. But it's about the body language, the moving in, the get out of my space. Also, adorable Cavapoo. Stop petting that Cavapoo every time it comes up to you because you're becoming very permissive and you're training the Cavapoo to train you of when to be pet. And so you're just constantly giving instant gratification. So it's the same as having like an out of control kid or a person who can't put their phone down because they might get a text message. That's not me, by the way. And so I just want to give you these tips to kind of help you see the whole bigger picture. It's really about training, structure, and how and when to give affection really has to be paid more attention to, or nothing you do for the biting will hold. It won't stick.
It's a full circle.
Yeah.
Nothing lives in a vacuum.
Yeah.
Full circle.
Big time.
I got another good one.
Well, I got follow-up on Hits Vera, so I want to do that. He is fully crate trained. He knows thresholds. He only comes out when told. See, this is why this is so helpful, because I would have spent 4 minutes on that, and I'm like, you already got it down.
Read it.
Yeah. Okay. Really, 1-year-old, context is important. This is a, almost an adult dog. What I would say, I think they sent something else too. Let's see. Let me just double check. We think he's scared of the car. Yeah, no, I agree with you. It doesn't relax once clipped in and moving. There's a few things. So I know you didn't say struggles to get in the car, but I'm just going to assume maybe there's some hesitation there. I would want to have head control if you don't already. I don't know what type of dog you have, but unless you're having to pick up the dog and put it in the car, I would want some form of head control. Slip leash is going to be good for this, although they can dig in some on the slip leash because it's flat pressure like a harness.
Martingale? I feel like martingale would give you a little bit more oomph to get him up in the car without hitting the gag reflex.
Oh, that's so funny you said that. Well, if you go up, that's true.
It's
but
just wider. It's a wider pressure.
I'm going to tell you something though. This is way too complicated for a show that doesn't have a dog. But I'll do slip leash pressure, and they'll kind of resist, and they can't, and then I'll grab the collar and help boot them in. The flat collar, and so that combo works beautifully for dogs.
It gives the initial pressure and then the flat
guidance.
pressure guidance.
Yeah, because the flat pressure allows them to brace and then they can't go back and it helps them go forward. And sometimes I'll give them like a knee boot, which you've talked about before too on the show.
We've also put out our feet to let them step on our
That's
feet.
what I meant by,
lift up
yeah,
the foot.
like a
when
foot.
You said boot,
not a
it made
boot,
it sound like you're
not a
kicking.
kick, no, like a boot up.
You're putting a foot out so they can step on your foot. You
Yeah.
can lift their foot up with your foot.
Especially the German Shepherds are all back legs or like, But anyway, you open both car doors. And my big one is, guys, get in the car. Stop trying to get your dog in the car. You get in the car. It's best to have a friend, spouse, neighbor, something behind the dog. So if they go into full flight, they don't get away from you. So it's best to have a person behind the dog, just standing there like a normal human. It's just good. It helps box the dog in. And then you get in the car and help the dog get in. Also, target the foot area, not the cushiony top
When you mean
area.
get in the car and then help the dog in, are you in the car, like, are you crawling in first with the dog next to you, then turning around and then like helping leverage them up, like lure them up?
I'm sitting and I turn towards my dog and I'm like, hup, come on, hup. Yeah, so that's what.
Good job, Dakota.
Hi, Dakota. We don't need Sparky. We can just do
I'm out.
All right, she's ginormous. This was a bad idea. Can you get down?
The amount of hair I could get off me last
Look,
time.
she's like, I'll just sit here.
That was a wet one.
Dakota, out.
Ugh.
Oh, careful. That's a table. You're ginormous. Okay, sorry, everybody.
Got some long legs.
There we go. But hopefully that makes sense.
Why does she try to squeeze between the tightest little itty
She
bitty
likes
space?
tight areas. Every time, like she's not crated anymore, every time Maverick's not in his crate, she hides in
goes
this
inside.
little tiny crate that she barely fits in. Her legs and face stick out. She loves
Some
it.
dogs like it. She's
Yeah,
quirky.
she loves it. Okay, so
did
anyway.
you finish your question?
No.
Okay.
So anyway, that's what, that's just to help anybody get in. Now, on the out process, the same, I don't know how you train thresholds, but for me, I would really use the door as leverage. I would open it 2 inches, and the dog is ready to go. And you've got the dog
Nose
back.
to the door.
You've got the dog back clipped, I think I read, so that's good. But I would also kind of just push the door in a bit. Don't let it lock, because it might lock on a little toe. But just spatial pressure. Like, open the door a few inches, move it in. Open it, move it in, till that dog backs off. Now, let's say the dog doesn't back off, and you can't fully open the door. And then unclip, close the door a little again. Start to open it, pressure, pressure. Finally, the dog kind of backs off. Pick up leash, dog wants to blow out. Door pressure, don't click it in. Finally, the dog gets out. That is that's like just management. You need to have that dog. And I probably need to know a little bit more about age and like how, a little bit more about this stuff. But you got to pattern the crap out of that car. Can I say that? The crap out of that car.
I say a lot worse than that.
Pattern the crap out of that car. So turn, pause, hup, or place, or whatever you say. Sit down if the dog's not too stressed. They can stand there if they want to. They just need to not blow out the threshold. Pause, breathe in, breathe out. Let's go, turn. And if you need to give them like a little stool because they shouldn't be doing 10 jumps, that's fine. Like do something to where you can do 10 patterns in and out to really physically drain them. Now you can't do this once a month. It's not going to work. Pick 2 weeks. Do it every other day to every other day, and really drill this. Make sure they're tired even before you do the car thing, because when it comes to hyper anxiety, not forever, but just to get over the hump, typically extra exercise and then the patterning, the slow patterning, is the best combo to help them learn how to settle in the car. And then the settling becomes like more of the new normal. I mean, yeah, you can try to feed in the car. You can Google all the normal standard steps. We try to do those too, but maybe that's something you haven't heard before. I do it before we go anywhere, and then we just don't even go anywhere. And then I also do it when we get somewhere. We get to the park, and it's like, oh my God, let me out. We do the same thing. It's like you don't get to come out until you're so tired that you're like, fine, I'll stay in the car. That's the goal.
You said something, breathe in and out. It's not the dog breathing out. That's actually you guys taking a beat, pausing. I got my dog in the car. Yeah. I'm sweating bullets because it took me 10 freaking minutes to get him in there. And now
we got to get out again.
Trying to release him? No. Let yourself settle. Wait for your heart rate to lower. They're going to be anxious in that car no matter what. Yeah. It's your pause so they can eventually, because they follow our circadian rhythm, they actually understand your breathing patterns too, and they can smell biochemical changes in your body. That's how we get seizure alert and assist service animals.
Fancy.
But all of that means that when my breathing regulates, my heart rate slows and my sweat stops perspiring, my dog will actually take a breath as well and calm down. And that's usually when I release, just to go right back in there again. Is that what you meant by take a breath?
Yeah, that's exactly what I meant by take. Oh, I got one. Can I do one? It's a quick one.
Yeah, go.
And then you can have one, and then we can go. Irvi KB says, 11-month-old golden who launches flying dog style when they see people, but walks well mostly on a double-ended harness. He's a big boy, but I almost go flying.
Double-ended harness? Is that like the halty?
I think
the
it's
halty
the
lead,
front,
the front and
and the back, yeah.
Okay.
Which can be good, kind of like reining a horse.
Harness, yeah.
11-month-old is a little young, and just
old. I think it's a little old for that setup. I introduced that setup at 8 months.
No, you don't. No, you don't. Not the front clip harnesses. No, you don't.
Oh, for a grown lab? Maybe.
It's not grown though. It's 11 months old.
Oh, okay, fine.
Okay, so anyway, just like a lot of twisting, like a lot of hard twisting, before the
probably a slip leg combo.
Structure is fully formed. That's we tend to go more towards. You have to have a trainer for this, which is what I was about to get to. But some head control first for this age, size, things like that. Then once you get over the hump, you can go back to your harness. Like it's no big deal. Like I'm not hardcore. Don't ever use a harness at all. That's not what I'm saying. But when you've got this intensity, I mean, a harness is not going to stop him. There's no stake in the world.
There's nothing adversive enough to make him say, I don't want to jump.
Yeah.
Because that jumping causes discomfort.
Yeah. So it's like something's going to happen to you guys. I'm just going to say it. Like something bad could happen to you guys. And that's the aversive, or you get some head control and work with someone to get a little bit more control of that dog in those moments. We have even done combos where it's like, okay, just with traffic, we're going to work with slip leash, and then the rest of the walk is harness, and slip leash is attached if we need it, but we don't even use it. You know, you can, if you'd rather not do that, that could be a balance for you. But that would honestly, at 11 months old, that would be my suggestion. Do you have one that you want to do before we go?
I'd Kate B. Our puppy is pulling so much. Follow some of that. If your puppy's a little bit younger, then you could do the harness and food redirection work first. But again, we still recommend hiring a trainer. Walking is tough, guys. Walking a young puppy who's motivated to pull, it isn't constantly checking with food naturally. It means you need to do a lot more work to gain that focus inside your home. So for Kate B, you probably need to do a little bit more, check it out. You probably need to do a little bit more work in your home in a controlled space, in an area that if there's a distraction, you could tell it to leave and go into a different room. Because your puppy's watching them, they leave, your puppy's looking for you again. And I would practice walking in a straight line. When my puppy goes forward and hits the end of the leash, I kind of shift my body to the side so it's not going down his spine, it's kind of going down the side of the shoulder. And then I back up a step. And when my puppy eventually looks to check in at what's holding him back, I give slack because I'm also holding food. They come to check in for the food. I loop them into my side, I give them a treat, and then we kind of rinse and repeat that. When you can get pretty good focus and your dog can hear a noise outside, and I'm like, puppy, come, good, and I can redirect them away from that noise from in my home to an outside noise, then I'm ready to maybe go from indoor to backyard, backyard to front, front to sidewalk, sidewalk to neighborhood. And Bethany's a big advocate for going to parks too.
Yeah, and then put them on a harness at that. I'm guessing your puppy's super young, like under 4 or 5 months old. Put them on a harness, take them to a park on a 15-foot long line on a quiet day, and let them sniff around. They're going to go berserk and just freeze. They hit the end of the leash on a harness. They're fine, you know, and then they'll just go this way.
Make sure a leg doesn't get tangled. No legs getting tangled under the harness when they run.
And then they'll go this way and this way and this way and this way, and then they'll be like, oh, you got food? All right, I'll do a few recalls for food, and then just let them sniff around and hang out. You can do that in the yard too. Just let them get some energy out, guys, and then work on all the stuff that he's talking about.
It's the one thing that everyone's missing. Everyone is just focused on structure, and the walks are full freedom. The inside is full structure. You need an in-between, guys. You need an outdoor place that you can go on a long leash that's still safe for him, that he gets to use up energy, and you can end it with a little bit of fun training with food.
Two ones that I think,
double-fisting.
I know, 2 ones that I think are really quick. Ashley says that she sees, hey Ashley Black, that is a cool name. That's why I had my cool face when I said it, could you tell? I have a 3-month-old pure lab. I see people adding things to their kibble. Should I be doing that? I know that Sparky would like to talk about this for an hour, but I'm not going to let him. I'm just going to say that Sparky and I both feel like there's probably there isn't a kibble in the world that meets the nutritional needs for your animal. Just like there's not food that comes in a box for us that meets our nutritional needs. And so that's why you see people adding food. Now, I'm not going to get into what you should be adding. I would just say go down the rabbit hole, use some, Grok or Chat GPT, and dive into your breed, the neutered, not neutered, the age, and what they should be eating and what you tailor towards.
I made my entire dog's diet homemade food every single week from Chat GPT, and it gave me everything, the nutrients I have to add, I need.
Well, it's
everything.
important to note that he was able to, what's the word? He has the credentials to be able to make sure that what ChatGPT said was true.
I'm not a registered nutritionist, but
he's close to it.
I'm very close.
He practically is. He could be easily if he wasn't a dog trainer. Okay.
Food guy.
One more quick one, because I just really like this one, and I think she's like trying to make sure that we don't leave without answering this.
I saw the double send.
14-week-old golden. D. Willis, I got you. 14-week-old golden not listening to his name. Help! He just ignores me. You want to start with that one? 14-week-old, won't listen to his name. Golden Retriever.
Oh, come on. Retriever's in the name of the dog. Come on.
Okay, I didn't say be mean. Seriously?
No, I'm smiling. That's a smile.
Maybe he's a lazy
That's
one.
not a neurotic smile.
Maybe he's a lazy one.
You need a relationship building exercise. You need something that's going to teach your dog how to come to you and respond to you. So what's the most motivating meal of the day? Usually for my dogs, it's breakfast. I'm going to grab my morning pouch. When I bring my dog out of the crate, they've literally watched me put the pouch on before the door even opened and I brought him out. And I'm going to go to my living room, my kitchen area. I'm going to have maybe, I'm going to go longer. I'm going to go a 6-foot leash, not the standard 4 to 5 foot that I usually use inside. And with that 6-foot leash, my dog's able to move a little bit away from me. When I first bring them out, I'm going to take about 15 repetitions of come. I'm going to grab a handful of kibble. I'm going to face my dog, try to find their nose to try to tune in focus. Thank you. To tune in focus. And then right when they're smelling the food, name, come, draw them into your knees. Good food. Stand tall. Turn away. Walk 2 steps. Do it again. I'm going to get 10 repetitions in 30 seconds. That's how fast I'm going. And then I'm going to get another 10 repetitions in 2 minutes. And then after that, I'm not going to ask for any repetitions. I'm going to start walking around my kitchen. I'm going to go turn on my espresso machine. And in the 30 seconds it takes it to heat up and turn on, my dog's already walked away. She made it 5 feet, not 6. Puppy come, good.
Puppy name
Food.
come.
Yeah, puppy name come. Sorry, puppy is their name. Use their name. Puppy name come, good. Food. And then go back to doing what I'm doing. They wander away again. Same thing. And now they're in follower mode. Now they're kind of hanging by my side as I'm walking around my kitchen. That's when I stop is I'm going to start asking for a sit.
You got 30 seconds.
I'm going to start asking for a sit and then giving a break. So the next time I start calling
You
my
start
dog,
building.
because they're
You
just
start building.
existing around me, I can layer on, come, they're looking at me, sit, good.
You're getting away
And
from
then
your
couch,
point.
food, break.
You're getting
Okay,
away from
sorry.
your point.
You got to finish
Okay.
it. I'm going to go deep.
So I'm going to go backwards. So that's what I would have said too. But you need something first, D. Willis.
Oh,
You need to create the name to be the marker word. All right.
Oh, I see.
And so you're going to, before you do that, you're going to take one more step
Load
back.
up that name.
And let's say your dog's name is Dusty, and your dog got a hungry dog in the morning, and you're just going to go, Dusty, piece of food. Dusty, piece of food. Like you go, good food, or clicker training. You gear up your marker. It's what it's called, gearing up the marker. We're going to do that with your name. Dusty, piece of food. Dusty, 2 steps back, piece of food. Dusty, 5 steps back, piece of food. Dusty, come. So then you're going to layer on everything, but you need to gear up your marker. Make sure you're not using the name 11 times a day when you go, Dusty, no. Stop that. And stop trying to use his name so much. Make it special. Let's make it just for the next 2 weeks. Try not to use his name during the day and just use it for 1 or 2 short training sessions, 3 to 5 minutes, get in 30 recalls. You'll be good to go in 2 weeks. All right, we got to go. Later. Bye, everyone. Same time, same.